everybody. My name is Kylie Garrett, and I am an HR representative. We do have our HR manager, but I'm here to act more as a facilitator for this meeting. We're holding this meeting so that this way we can see whether or not we should change our existing policy on privacy of technology as well as privacy personally within our workplace. I'm going to go around and have everybody introduce themselves, their position, and what you want to get out of this meeting today.
Hello everybody, my name is Ashton Dahl, and I am the manager of the shipping department. For today's meeting, I would really like to propose the idea of a potential trial period using GPS on our trucks.
I'm Allie Fleming, I'm the HR manager. I'm here to decide if employees' rights are being breached and what fair new policies we can implement in our company.
Hi guys, I'm Mario Martinez. I'm the manager of IT department, and my goal is to stay as a competitive company within the market and also either come to an agreement or improve our policies to resolve our problem of bringing personal devices to the work area.
I'm Jonathan Jarjour. I'm a manager at the product development department here at the company, and what I hope to get out of this discussion is to ensure that the safety of the information in my department as well as my employees are protected by HR policies.
Hi everybody, my name is Simon Helbach. I'm the sales and marketing manager at our company, and my goal for today's discussion is to protect the creativity of my department's employees and to make sure that our marketing and sales strategies stay in the company.
Great. Well, now that we're more acquainted with each other and our positions, I just want to lay out some ground rules for our discussion before I start asking you all individual questions. Please be respectful. Please mind your pen clicking, as well as try to keep your cell phone used to a minimum, if not at all. As well as be respectful if you have something to say or respond to another person's topic. Please wait till they're finished and then have your comment. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm actually going to start with Ashton. Ashton, you wanted to bring up how would monitoring the company's trucks via GPS affect productivity and privacy in the workplace?
Yes. So mainly I would like to just the reason as I stated I'm here is to propose an optional trial period. I understand that with GPS tracking it is somewhat of an expensive jump in. I've been researching several. It's about $250 per truck, and that's according to Truck Tracking and several other websites. Also, I've kind of looked up some stuff for productivity, and the Department of Transportation has come out with a report saying that they think that using GPS tracking should save the United States as a whole about $9.6 billion this year with unloading. So if we knew when the shipments were coming in, we could then be prepared to immediately load them when they come, so there's not that lag time. As well as making the employees more productive by keeping an eye on where they're going.
So how would you actually go about implementing this trial period? Would you single out an individual or would you single out several trucks?
To start this trial period, I would really like to try about, I feel like 10 trucks would be a good starting place. And I wouldn't be singling out anybody directly. I think just 10 trucks selected by random would give us a good idea of how much this could benefit the company.
We were talking, he actually talked about productivity, which moves into your question. Do you think cameras at the workplace influence workers' creativity, their motivation, or their productivity in the workplace?
After reading an interesting article of a state lawyer, which said that actually having cameras at the workplace is legal if it's there for business concernings, I was quite shocked when our management thought about implementing there in our companies, because in my opinion it definitely influences the workers' creativity, which in my sales and marketing department is really important, and it decreases the the whole creativity, in my opinion, and that's why I'm definitely against bringing up cameras in our workplace.
Would you be open to the idea of having cameras in other places that aren't so much on the creativity side, but more just people that are in cubicles making mundane things that creativity is not a part of their job, but maybe cameras would make them more productive?
I can just speak for my department, and if you think of productivity and creativity, in my department it's kind of the same thing, because when we're not creative, we're not productive. And therefore, in my opinion, in my department, definitely no. In other departments, there you should even you should rather speak with the management there, because I cannot speak for them. But have you thought of the fact that cameras are as well part of security, because we are talking about very important stuff, sales and marketing strategies, and if hackers would hack our system, could be worst case if opponents on the market find out about our strategies.
That's actually a very good point, because I was reading an article published in V3 where someone wrote about how actually people online were able to hack into some companies' camera feeds, and they were actually able to control the movement of the camera. They were able to pan it, zoom it. So that puts a lot of sensitive information at risk. And also in an article published in Wired, they reported that 1,000 cameras were exposed because of this hacking scheme. And these cameras were placed at sensitive areas such as bank vaults and even security guard changing stations. Those are two very important places where cameras should not be there. So I agree with your point. I think that cameras shouldn't be allowed in the workplace, but they shouldn't be allowed in the workplace in every department, because that just puts our employee privacy at risk as well as our information.
Well, speaking about breaches, you wanted to bring up the question of, with the number of data breaches increasing, what could we do to protect our data and our intellectual property?
It's a good, I believe that we should update our current policy on security breaches to make sure that it's more comprehensive as a whole. Bloomberg Business actually suggests implementing some items. One of these would be to set up an IT disaster plan. That way, if a data breach were to occur, IT knows exactly what to do, and so will the employees. So it'll be a systematic response where no one's panicking and there's less freak out at the business place. And they also suggest that to test the data protection services frequently to ensure that they're all safe and good to go. Similarly, the Federal Trade Commission has published a PDF that details a 5-step process plan to make sure that this doesn't occur. The first item is to take stock, which is to know all the personal information that's at our business. The second one would be to scale it down, meaning to only keep the ones that are important. The third is to lock it, protect it, make sure it doesn't get out. The fifth would be to pitch it, which is to properly dispose of all the information we don't need anymore. And the fifth one would be to plan ahead, which is to make sure that we know what to do in case of a data breach, and so do our employees. And I believe that if we were to implement these things, both our information, its security, especially in my department, product development, I mean, if it's something from there were to leak out, our entire business would be in jeopardy. And it also protects us, it also protects our employees from the fact that their personal information is kept safe.
I totally agree with Jonathan. I read an article from Panama Studies that shows that in great detail how the data breaches affect in many countries the business and cost detection, investigation, and the aftermath of every data breach in the business.
Well, Esparta, you did want to speak about how should our company prohibit employees from using personal electronic devices with the company's network?
Honestly, I do believe that it should be prohibited, or at least have another agreement or resolve the problem by improving our company policies, because I know that it increases a lot of concerns within the employees and the employers about privacy issues of whether the lack of if we're managing the people or employees right, if we're managing how they're using their their work schedule during their while using their devices and stuff like that, and also the lack of intruding, the lack of. Sorry.
Take your time.
I said it's a fact proven that we usually, like, people do not, or employees do not read the policies correctly or take their time while they're accepting the notifications when they connect their personal devices to the company. And Thomas Pilner, he's a CISSP, which is a Certified Information System Security Professional. He one of his solutions was that that all the companies should have a security awareness program where it increases the awareness of the employees and increase what will happen and why we do like stuff like throughout the IT department. And another solution was that it was a study that a company called Terenos made, and back in 2010, where like they had a system, it's called Social Sentry, that actually tracked every employee of like the data usage and the network while they were working. So.
According to Krentner's book Management, employees morale, their efficiency at work and their loyalty is higher if they feel trusted at work. How would you respond to that?
If they feel trusted at work, I mean, that would make us and them have a good relationship between each other, and like they will make more productivity if they want to use their devices while at work. But they have to know like what will happen in order, like something that would damage our company's reputation, and they're involved, they should know the consequences.
So, like Ashton, do you want to try a trial period of tracking personal use of computers on our network within our company?
Yeah,
Is it something that you would suggest? Yes.
I would have a comment in my state of a manager of the sales and marketing department, because for me it's a fine line. Because, for example, when sometimes I come home and then I have a great idea and I want to work maybe at home and drink a glass of wine, and I'm a lot more productive than when I'm at my workplace. And then I would love to use my own computer, just bring it to work at the next day, and then connect the things and use it at workplace. But of course, if I think of security again, as you said before, if something get lost or my laptop got stolen, that would be really the worst case which could happen. So for me, it's a really fine line.
Well, that's actually a really nice segue into the fine line between not only a privacy for your computers and your systems, but also for personally. Ali wanted to bring up the discussion about if drug testing new and current employees is invading their personal life, and is it ethical, as well as under which circumstances is it ethical and uninvasive.
I do not believe desk employees need to be drug tested in the workplace. According to Addiction Review, drug testing does not deter or deflect employees from using recreational drugs outside of the workplace. It also can compromise the morale of the company because it creates an environment where employees feel the need that they may need to lie at the workplace. It's kind of better just to have a don't ask, don't tell policy. That being said, I do believe people operating heavy machinery, such as driving the trucks, do need to be drug tested to prevent serious accidents.
I'd just like to chime in here. So from an HR standpoint, how would it appear if you singled out certain departments to drug test them?
Can you repeat the question?
So is it ethical to single out certain groups when drug testing?
We're not singling them out because we think they're of a lower class or lower anything. It's just simply because they're operating heavy machinery and there's a much larger risk to having a serious accident. Whereas behind a desk, no one's gonna have a car accident.
So with what you're wanting to talk about, or what you're brought up to this discussion, is our current policy, do you feel like it is way too invasive of all new employees? Or do you want us to specifically test those who are going into certain departments when they're being interviewed?
I feel it is not necessary to drug test employees unless they are going into operating heavy machinery.
What if they're handling sensitive information, such as the product development standpoint? That's really sensitive information. If they're handling it, that's almost as dangerous as operating heavy machinery in terms of forward thinking in the company.
Right, but recreational drug use does not affect, outside of the workplace, does not influence someone to share personal information at that time, so.
Okay, I'm gonna actually cut our discussion off at this point. Thank you for participating today. I will take this video to our chief officers as well as to the rest of our HR department to see if we can implement some sort of change in our policies that regard personal computers, our system backups, talking about your trial for the GPS tracking, as well as changing our drug testing policies. And we will see what they say about your topics. But thank you for all for being here. From our outside audience, are there any other questions?